Hello everyone, Saf Tech Reviews here, and today I'm going to be unboxing the Galaxy Z Fold 4, which has just arrived here on the left. I'm also going to be taking a look at the new standing cover with the S Pen case that's coming out with this phone. Also going to talk about some first impressions on this phone, comparing it to my Z Fold 3 here, which I've been using for the past year. So without further ado, let's take a look at this. So first thing I'd like to point out here is this new box. They do seem to be getting slimmer every year. I'm guessing because there is no charger in the box or power brick. I'm guessing it's just going to come with an adapter. So let me take my knife here and take this and open it up. And over here I have the Phantom Black model. As we can see here, actually the phones look super similar, but this one over here, it's quite interesting. These lenses, I don't know why they look a bit bigger on the black model, but I think they're the same size. It might just be my eyes playing tricks on me. Well, just upon holding this one right off the bat, compared to this one, I definitely do feel a significant weight difference between both of these phones. So let me take the cover off here. Alright, so cover is off. So first thing, right over here is I'm comparing that crease between both models. Actually, to my surprise, it is much less pronounced on the ZFold 4. I thought the difference would be much less than that, so I didn't quite expect that. It's definitely more pronounced on the ZFold 3 here compared to the 4. In all cases, when you're using these phones, you never really notice that crease, to be frank, when you're holding it straight up against your face. Like you really don't see that, to be honest. But my first impressions is this definitely feels way lighter than the Fold 3. Just comparing them here side by side. The hinge feels tighter on this. On the 4, I don't know if it's because I had this phone for a year. Maybe the hinge loosens up a bit over time, but definitely I have a tighter feel coming out of that one. Over here side by side, again, very hard to see, but the profile is definitely way slimmer on the ZFold 4. It's much slimmer. If you look over here, I'm not sure if the camera is capturing this really good enough, but the hinge here seems to be much thicker on the Fold 3 compared to the Fold 4. It's just super thin on the Fold 4, and I can tell that right away. I can definitely see that there. So that's interesting. Yep, let's boot this right up. Alright, so that phone's starting up there. And yeah, let's look at the sizes here. It's interesting, definitely, because the Fold 4 is shorter than the Fold 3, and it does seem to be, let's check the width here. It does seem to be slightly wider, in my opinion. But yeah, one-handed use, just feeling this one versus the Fold 3. The Fold 3 is narrower. I feel like it just feels a bit more cramped to type on. Holding this one, it just feels so much more comfortable in the hand. It's actually giving me a lot of it reminds me a lot of the iPhone 4 in terms of the width of typing. It just gives me that same sensation from going left to right here. But both phones seem super similar in pictures, I guess, and when you look at them, but actually in real life they're actually quite different. I mean, you can see here on the 3, because it's silver, it's more clear. This bezel here is super thick here on the left. On the Fold 4 you can actually barely see it. It's much more tucked in, much more refined. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by what I'm seeing here on the Fold 4. It definitely seems like a huge improvement. This is just a first impressions video. I may be uploading other videos comparing these phones, but I can definitely see a difference here. Another thing I'm noticing here is the flash module definitely looks different between both. I can see the one on the Fold 3 does look much smaller than the one on the Fold 4. That looks like a really much bigger flash module than the one on the previous gen. So I think that's also changed there for sure. They both seem very similar, but also surprisingly they changed the volume rocker, it seems. The feel on the volume rocker on the newer one does feel much tighter to me than the older one. So that is an interesting observation too. So yeah, that's in terms of the phones. So actually I've owned all the previous Folds and I could never find a good case for these phones, so I ended up, you know, never using a case on this one. I've heard of this new standing cover with the S Pen, so I did pre-order it with this phone, and I'm really hoping it's a pretty cool case. I look forward to it. The majority of the old cases or the third-party cases, the issue that I used to see that was super common was whenever you install the case on the front screen, it would end up falling off. Actually, so many of those aftermarket cases for the previous Folds, what they would do is they would give you 3M tape with the case, and you would apply 3M to the side bezel here when you're installing that case so that it doesn't fall off. It's really never worked. I've tried several cases. It just either falls off on your pocket, or actually this thin piece here ends up cracking. Yeah, so I'm very impressed that Samsung came up with this case finally that actually looks like a really good option here. So that's great. Well, I can see that this case actually does seem to come with an S Pen in the box. That is funny because I actually already have my own S Pen here, which I'm currently grabbing from my drawer. One moment. Yeah, so over here, as you can see, I already opened this before, but I do have the S Pen Fold Edition here. I didn't think that this would have one with it in the box, but that's fine. So the more the merrier. So let me take this one out. And I can see here this comes with some installation instructions on how to put this on your device over here. And here's the case. It definitely does not feel as flimsy as the ones I've used previously, the aftermarket ones I normally see. Pretty neat actually. It's surprisingly lightweight. I am a little concerned about this part though, because this is what used to break on aftermarket cases I tried before, but that's interesting. So I can see here they have this that peels off. Not sure if this is sticky. Nah, it's not really sticky. I don't think it is. Yeah, so let's just peel that off so we can install it. It's not sticky, but it has like a bit of a different... Actually, yeah, it's slightly sticky, I'm guessing. Yeah, it is actually slightly sticky. That's probably so it doesn't end up falling off the phone like those previous ones. But let me install this here, and hopefully I'll have an update on how this case held up on the Fold 4 in the future. But it was pretty easy to put on actually. It just popped right onto this phone. It's quite simple. And whoops, hope that didn't cause any damage. And here is the back cover, which I am going to put on here. And you can see that snapped right on. So something really cool about this case is this piece over here. And the really nice thing about it is you can open this and it pretty much has a built-in kickstand, so you can, watch things that way, or yeah, it doesn't go that way, but you can watch things this way on that phone while you use it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you're holding it this way, yep. So you can also, if you're watching something that way, it's built into the case, so that it's super convenient. Let's say you're on a plane or out somewhere and you just want to watch a movie, the kickstand is like built into this case, so that's super helpful. The thing I really like about this case that I've read about is this piece over here should be interchangeable. So over here in the box we also have another so over here, this piece here is actually some S Pen tips that came with the S Pen, and that's just if your tip is worn, your S Pen tip is worn down, you can replace them here. And there's an extraction tool also in the box to change that S Pen tip. One of them fell out actually, but that's fine. I'll put that over there. So over here, this attachment is what I was referring to. Really interesting. So essentially what you could do is take this one over here, and this attachment over here, which has the S Pen on it, or in it I guess, is actually interchangeable here. So you could, I believe, if I push it that way, there we go. So you could remove this kickstand. Let's say you don't feel like using the kickstand today, you have an important meeting or something where you'll be taking a lot of notes. You can simply just take this over here and you're able to slide it into this case, and now you actually have a place to put in your S Pen, which is super cool. So you can pretty much change your case, and you can either have the S Pen on the back or the kickstand depending on what you would like to do. Really versatile. I really like Samsung's thinking with this new Fold. Definitely feels like a very premium device. Really awesome knowing that you can carry something this portable in your pocket. I did notice here the pixel density looks way better than the old one. Definitely big improvement right there. It's much more difficult to notice that cutout or that punch hole cutout for the camera. Really awesome stuff there. One thing to note, if you're going to use the S Pen attachment, if you're putting this on a table, it will wobble. It will wobble badly. When it's folded, it's not bad because it feels like it's tilted forward. But yeah, that's just something to note here. I think this phone is already somewhat bulky, so I definitely think it's easier to just have the flip or kickstand attachment on this. I usually carry my pen somewhere in my bag or somewhere around me, so like today it was in my drawer. But anyways, this is like a good first impression of both. The case and the new Fold 4 was a good video to make a comparison between both. I definitely feel like there's been a lot of improvement right off the bat on both of these. Especially this Fold 3 was a really big jump from the Fold 2 in terms of portability, but this Fold 4 really does feel like another big jump. It feels very portable. It's kind of crazy. I have a case on this and it still feels pretty portable compared to the last one. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel.